Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Throughout Season 1 so far, it's been kind of weird because we haven't really had that many major updates, right? Usually within like a 2-month season, we have some title updates about 3 times per season, I want to say on average. However, with Season 1, we had the whole launch update for the season, which did require a larger download. We didn't actually have one with the mid-season update, which is pretty abnormal. But it appears we've got another major update coming up here soon, the whole Season 1 Reloaded update as it's called, which is set for February 4th. And today we're going over all the confirmed changes we have for this update, coming to Cold War, Warzone, and then also, I guess, partially Modern Warfare as well. So as we go through it all, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. And of course, if you're new here, or if you're not already subscribed, we are on the road to 700,000 subs. So if you want to stay up to date with everything going on in COD, this is the place to be. So feel free to subscribe and maybe even turn on those post notifications. Now, first and foremost, when it comes to all the confirmed changes that we've obviously got the roadmap detailing some of the content that we can expect. We've also got the Trello board too, which has some new info on it there. And then outside of that, there is also a few known issues that hopefully are going to be fixed for each game as well. And we'll go over those towards the end of each segment. But starting first with Cold War on the Trello board side of things, like I said, we've got a few things listed here. Crashing and stability stuff is kind of a given at this point, but it is also always being looked into all throughout the years. So any crashing issues you may have at this point, I know there's like some error codes and whatnot going around, especially for Xbox specifically, it seems. Those are being actively investigated, and we're bound to see some new stability fixes implemented come the Reloaded update. Now, COD points not functioning as intended and basically appearing on your account when they should be appearing is also still being looked into. And here, it says a fix is actually scheduled, so this is confirmed to be fixed either in this week's coming playlist update or in the Reloaded update according to the Trello board. Now, for the multiplayer specific stuff, we've got more bugs and whatnot here, including the HARP or the VSAT not highlighting players when it's active. As we know, there's no real counter to the HARP since it is a higher tier score streak, but occasionally players are still going to be hidden from it, which obviously is pretty problematic. It acts as if they have Ghost even if they don't have that active, so that is indeed being fixed here soon. Same deal with the Dirty Bomb HUD icons having incorrect information, and also under the investigating header, Treyarch is working on fixing the bug on Sanatorium, where players can actually be stuck in the sky when they end up respawning. Basically, you're walking on the world barrier at the very top of the map. It looks cool, but you can't really play the game, so that's being fixed too. They're also working on some more split-screen visual issues. And finally, within Fireteam Dirty Bomb, they're working on making sure the rotation is split between Ruka, Alpine, and Sanatorium by basically limiting Ruka in the rotation a bit more, so you're not going to be playing that like 9 times out of 10, and then maybe Alpine or Sanatorium that one time. Ruka is definitely dominating the rotation, or has been for a while now, and they are working on that as well. Now, when it comes to the Cold War content that we know is confirmed, of course, we've had the Reloaded roadmap for a few weeks now, and thanks to that, we know that we're getting a brand new Zombies map known as Firebase Z with the whole Reloaded update, and we've been seeing some teasers for that here and there over the past few weeks and days. We're also getting the Express remake for 6v6 in multiplayer. That one is going to be full of nostalgia for any BO2 players out there. Personally, I'm just excited to try and run some S&D on Express. Loved that back in the day. We've got League play coming up here soon as well, and then also some new multiplayer modes, but those, I guess, aren't really necessarily specific to the whole Reloaded update. Those are going to be dropping on any given week as we continue through the last part of Season 1. Now, as we move on into the Warzone stuff, staying on the roadmap, all we have here for content is the upcoming playlists, including Armored Royale, Mini Royale, and then also Rumble, which all are going to be returning here in the coming days and weeks, but honestly, nothing really too crazy there. Then moving on over to the Trello board, unfortunately, this really hasn't been updated all that much ever since the integration happened. There's really not that many items even in this section to begin with, but just recently we did get a few updates here. The first one is regarding Cold War weapon attachments, specifically the fact that certain attachments are not unlocking or working as intended. And as we've talked about on the channel a ton recently, the Cold War attachments are just a headache when it comes to what they actually do. We've seen how the barrels are just a complete mess and change depending on what weapon category you're in. Sometimes the Task Force barrel is insanely good, like on the SMGs where it actually works. It also works on like the FFAR too. Other times though, it doesn't do anything whatsoever. Certain range extending barrels don't actually extend the range. Grips like the Bruiser grip end up decreasing recoil, even though that's never mentioned in the pros list at all. The wraps don't actually end up increasing your ADS speed, even though they say that they're supposed to. there's just issues on issues on issues with the Cold War attachments, and then you also have things like the reloads and the stopping power bugs too. You can't really reload cancel on a lot of the Cold War weapons like you can on the Modern Warfare ones, and stopping power doesn't load incorrectly on the Cold War weapons either. But at long last, it appears that Raven is finally looking into this stuff. It is officially on the Trello board now, so hopefully we're going to see a lot improve there over time. Honestly, once the Cold War attachments are actually fixed, there's going to be a lot of changes to a lot of setups, I think. You know, just in general, a lot more weapons are going to become usable and increase in just their overall efficiency, so it should make things way more competitive between the Cold War weapons and the Modern Warfare weapons, and personally, I'm really looking forward to seeing this fixed and completely sorted out. Then Raven also mentions the loadout glitch being fixed here soon, where players are actually going to have their games freeze when they go to open a loadout. This, I believe, is happening on every single platform. I know for sure it's happening on PC. I've had it happen to me several times when playing. Super frustrating bug, especially if you're in like a high action scenario, so that is indeed being looked into as well. I would also expect the whole glitched superstore with no armor to be fixed here soon too. Basically, if you don't know, sometimes you can drop at Superstore and there literally will not be a single piece of armor to be found on the ground. You can only get it from getting kills, which obviously if you're dropping Superstore consistently, you know how much of a difference maker that's going to be, so I would anticipate a fix there too. Now, there's no mention of any dev errors or anything like that, but like I said earlier with Cold War, that kind of stuff is pretty much always being looked into. I know right now there's some issues going around where using a Cold War operator skin is actually going to crash your game sometimes, so just a heads up, I would avoid using any Cold War skins for the time being, but we should also see some stability updates with a reloaded update in addition to everything else we just covered. Unfortunately for Warzone though, outside of that stuff, we don't really know what's in store for the future. They haven't really previewed much at all, but as we get closer to Season 2, we should start to see some new teasers and hopefully some announcements regarding some new content and updates. I mean, obviously, we need an anti-cheat more than ever at this point. We need some map changes. Hopefully, the future has some of that in store for us. Then, to close things out, I do want to talk a bit about Modern Warfare, but just right off the bat, for what it's worth, the only changes mentioned on the Trello board are that of the dev errors that we've really known about for a while now. Of course, we know the new content is coming to Modern Warfare soon, but soon there, quote-unquote soon, could actually mean a lot of things, it seems, as we've sort of learned over the past month as this info has been out there. We've got the 3 new weapons still out there somewhere, maybe they'll release eventually. Chain, Sparks, and Soap technically are listed as Season 1 operator bundles, so I would expect those to drop sometime soon, obviously before the end of the season. Maybe with the whole Reloaded update we end up getting Soap, no confirmation there though. But yeah, we've got that stuff. We've got some unreleased maps for multiplayer, nothing that we haven't already discussed before, and unfortunately, like I said, still no real word on when any of that may end up dropping. So yeah, there you have it. That is effectively everything we have confirmed and sort of anticipated for the upcoming Reloaded update for Cold War, Warzone, and kind of Modern Warfare, and that's gonna wrap things up for today. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. And, of course, if you're new here and you want to stay up to date with the latest news, intel, updates, and pretty much everything else going on in COD, this is the place to be, so feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. That way you'll always know whenever I upload a new video. As always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code WhosImmortal for a spicy discount on all Scuff, G Fuel, and Control Freak products, and the links for all that stuff can be found down in the description below. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.